Oh, I'm so happy to be here. Thank you, Arati and Cassandra, for coming to chat about our summer 200-hour yoga teacher training program. So Cassandra, I know that you're so excited about learning what we do and how we do it, and maybe what the whole 3-month program, 8 weeks, would look like. So I've been teaching yoga for a long time, and so has Arati. Let me just share a little bit about myself. We've done this training a number of times and graduated 22 students. So we're so happy now in this new time to create similar but different, because the needs of our community and the planet have somewhat accelerated in a big way. And so there are different modules that Arati and I have decided to bring into the training. And I know that we're really experienced. Between the two of us, we have over 30 years experience in the yoga.
Oh, I thought it was like 50. Because
my gosh, yeah,
I'm
because
30 years of teaching myself, so
right.
you
So
adding it.
Yeah. So we've been teaching a long time. So 50, that just seems like so much, but yeah, that's basically it.
You said, yes.
Yeah, binding us together. Absolutely. So my hands-on approach is very ethereal and energetic, and I sense and I feel emotion. So I bring somewhat of the tangible, like ethereal stuff to this training, right? Which is hard to articulate, but when you're with me, we experience this sort of frequency, vibration, transference. So I think that's my specialty, moving into the ethereal and the frequency and the vibration, and it's beyond words. So that is my skill set. And of course, I have all of the other technical body alignment and all of that. And so I'm teaching the modules that have to do a little bit with the hands-on healing work. And so that said, I'll stop and let Arati take over on maybe share a little bit about herself, if you feel comfortable.
Yes, of course I am. I have been around the block for decades, and I'm fascinated also to follow people throughout life at this point in my life, like to see, to teach and train teenagers, young people, and then see, how it also may change the needs of yoga, how it changes when people have, let's say, pregnancies, because that's part of the module I'm teaching is prenatal and postnatal, or sometimes we are affected by life, surgeries, injuries, etc. So I'm on that. I'm bringing in myself to that healing part. I feel I'm a very Jupiterian Pisces type of teacher. So I'm passionate. I can't help it. I don't instruct, I teach. And I love it when people spark, and I go with what's needed. I try to go where people's questions are and serve from there. And I've had incredible master teachers, so that's my luck, and I'm very I feel honored, and I'm very I'm respecting that very much. So I'm having also a tradition. Then there's more to yoga. I always love to bring that in. There's the meditation part, there's a concentration, there's the devotional part, which includes mantra, yantra, a sound, the chakras, the mudras, the gestures. I love bringing that in. Love bringing in to wake up to our own vibration. And that's, I think, Tah and I meet a lot in that frequency and what is really beyond words, And maybe that's really interesting because I say that. So I taught thousands of yoga classes, and I think that's something, my own private joke with myself is like, I made it my job and my business to put in words, and I try to do that beautifully and poetically and also very precise for what cannot be said. So I agree with what you were saying so much. So yeah, thank you. And I don't know, I bring Ayurveda in, so all the Vedic sciences. Some people don't know what Vedic means. It's from the Vedic text. So there's one part is the Hatha yoga, and there's the other part is the Ayurveda. There's Jyotish, which is the astrology, and Tah offers a type of astrology with that human design. So very fascinating. So it is a little bit more than your usual know how to, you know, script through a vinyasa class, because this is what I'm seeing a lot. And maybe Tah, you said something how there's an evolution and there is perhaps a need for more self-exploration, going deeper, and also being able to offer other people.
I'm getting, yes, this is the truth that needs to be expressed about this training, that it is timely for what humans need to explore and expand and move inwardly to those things that cannot be said, but like what you were just saying. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, because you can feel it. You can even feel it now, and the tingles of that's happening in the body, and that's what comes over time. But setting the foundation with these concepts and these workshops and modalities that we're bringing in, you know, in a structured way is important. So yeah, all right. So that said, I know that you have lots of questions, and your inquisitive mind helps others who are very much in your place and want to take a training that's right for them. So making sure that you're asking the right questions, knowing your teachers, making sure that the training is a match for you, because there's all kinds of trainings out there. And so we want to make sure that we're matching our teaching with the right students. Yeah.
So, well, if you don't mind, before I ask questions, I'd just like to say that, you know, my part in this whole area, hold on, let me rephrase that real quick. So yeah, when I've been going to Tah since I was like 13 years old, and I've always like, just felt so relaxed, felt so zen after a yoga session. I always asked my dad if I could come back, and time and time again. And when I decided that I wanted to become a yoga instructor, I looked everywhere. I was in college already, so I wasn't in San Diego. So I was looking online, looking at other yoga instructors. And then once I came back to San Diego and remembered and like went to one of your classes, I was like, why didn't I think of this before? Like, I need to ask Tah. And obviously my dad had already mentioned it to you. So when he told me that you were like game, I was so thrilled. I was so excited. I was like, Tah is like the original person who like showed me not just like the physical aspects of yoga, but like what it can do for like my mental health and my body and my soul. And so I'm really happy that I get to be a part of this, and that I'm, like you said, sort of a catalyst for the whole program. And I think really when it comes right down to it, like a huge concern, I want to say, of mine, like, and I know this is going to be very similar for other people roughly my age, was just the cost. Because like everywhere I looked online and in classes, the cost was always the top of my head, like the budget. Like we're college students, we're working, we're learning, we're trying to figure out our own paths and stuff, where we haven't built a solid foundation for ourselves yet. But just talking to you about it, and like it just totally reassured me and felt like I was making the right decision, because it is an investment. It is investment in myself to be like, okay, I'm gonna learn yoga, but it's not just yoga. Like you guys, both of you, bring so much more into the program than just yoga. I'm so excited to learn and then be able to translate that into my own teachings, and also make that foundation for myself through yoga. And that's like the most exciting part about it for me, for sure. So I guess, yeah, that would be one of my first questions and inquisits for the other people my age. Like, what does this yoga break down? Like, how is it calculated through cost? Like, what is your recommendations or tips for people my age who, you know, don't necessarily just have the budget to, you know, pay for everything, but like, or some like, you know, I just, like, could you give them the encouragement that you gave me, that like knowing that this is like, can be a real pathway for them? Does that make sense? I'm sorry.
Yeah. So there's all of the opportunity to, of course, work out a financial plan that works for you. I mean, I'm confident we can do that. And the abundance aspect of it is all what we're teaching. It's not about action. It's about frequency and the sense of opening to learning, like the statement that you said, investing in yourself. It is huge, because when you make that commitment to yourself to do something like this, then those openings happen. Then the abundance and the unlimited possibilities, because it is not about action. It's about moving our belief system in a way that fosters the outside abundant. Like, you look at nature, you look at an apple tree, you look at a lemon tree, there is tons and tons of fruit on that tree. That is the mindset that we're wanting to support. Yeah. So does that help? Does that answer your question?
Yeah, there's just like an endless amount of abundance that, and people, like, I just want people to know that they should trust in themselves to be able to make it count, you know, to that they're not, to just believe in themselves, that they can make it work and make their dreams come true, and like be able to just support themselves by doing what they love and doing what feels good.
And I think
them.
Arati has a great stories about that, because she's taken considerably more investment in her, as she said, many teachers. I am more of an experiential. I've taken a few, but I have not explored the foundational teacher trainings that Arati has. So Arati can articulate some of her beliefs on that.
Oh, actually what's coming is thinking about when I was really young. I lived in New York City I was every single day, once or twice, I would go to Jivamukti. That was my first yoga school, Jivamukti Yoga in New York City. They exist, they're worldwide now. They were just starting, and I was so lucky to be with Sharon Gay and David Life. And it was so important to me to do the teacher training. I had like a waitressing gig, and I really put it all aside, and really old fashioned. I put it in a drawer, and I was so seeing that money there, that that's for me, what I'm going to do with it. It was empowering. Before that, it was other things what I had to buy in order to live. So that already was a really huge maturing step for me to be able to do that. Funny enough, so I had this boyfriend, and you know, he was very lovely and all that, but he forgot to tell me that he borrowed a little bit from my my drawer when I was enrolled. And I remember being so, besides the furious and that he wronged me, I'm not going there. What I did was just like, I'm just taking extra shifts, and I made that money.
Wow. There you
And
go.
I know that's something what really put me into the right place of what kind of yoga teacher can I possibly become? Somebody who's worth this type of knowledge, what we speak about. It cannot be put in words. Of course, it can't be paid for. Yeah. There is no value. It's invaluable. it's priceless. We do have to, make it in time and dates and here and where, and, we do that. We know how to do that, but it is absolutely priceless. Sometimes what we really get to, especially because we bring in the experience and the maturity, that's something you just absorb by just being there. That's priceless. That's priceless, because there's a lot of trainings out there, and they're beautiful people, and they know how to look wonderful in a pose. But they may not be able to really carry the value of the deeper transformative message yoga has got to give us, and that's what's important for Tah and I, and that's how we continue to believe in each other also in what we do.
Yep. Oh my gosh, I love you so much. I'm so glad we are in this together. We make a great team. Yeah.
Yeah, we are very, we are right across astrologically. We are really complementary. We're very yin and yang. We're not the same. We're different types of approaches.
So speaking about chemistry and seeing that you guys have such great chemistry, and obviously we want to keep that throughout the program, what kind of qualities and, other traits do you want to see in your students?
You're a perfect example. I am so impressed with the leadership qualities and the confidence, the ability to understand the bigger picture, knowing that this beyond, because the ego goes both ways. The ego goes very, very small. I don't want to talk. And that's ego. And then there's the ego that thinks they know everything. And that's the ego too. So to create this beautiful alignment, we can't do that for you. You have to find that within yourselves. And so I truly can lift you up, but it comes from you. It comes from our students. And so I want
you say that,
yeah,
that takes a lot of self-awareness.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's
what
beautiful.
about you, Arati?
I think of it as knowledge and passion. Love is seen as a light, as a torch. And, when I put my torch to your torch, it will light up powerfully. Also, it will not take anything from my light. It will not take anything. But you have now the ability to pass, without giving away any of your light, your essence, your love, your passions, your knowledge to others. So that's my hope, so that we can foster a good breeding ground for people like yourself to come through in this time, which is called Kali Yuga, which is the age of darkness and quarrel, where quarrel is not only outside and far away, a war far away, but it's also from within. We quarrel, we have doubt, we have our inner demons, we have, we may have problems. That's the human condition at this point. And this yoga is a real amazing healing, because it is all embracing. Because for me, it's not a cheesy thing, but that's also my spirituality and my connection to not only you, but to all the generations who came before me, the generations who will come, and before me, and my, God, Goddess, universe, planets beyond, my part.
I love that analogy of the torches.
Mm-hmm.
Really good.
That's my home. That's where I live. Also, I live in that place because I no longer try to figure out the world, because that's just doing my head in.
Are you guys ready for another question?
Yes, please.
Okay. All right. So, I know we went over this a little bit, Tom, but I wasn't sure if you had already set like all the modules that you want to cover in the program. And if you have, I would love to just know what those are and know, try to label them as best you can. But even though I know some might not be their best experience, rather than, like you said, like it's hard to articulate some of them, but if you can, I'd just like to know.
Yep, there's some specifics. We start with our Thai body therapy, Thai work. So that's a weekend.
I'm so excited for that.
Yeah. So why? Because it starts opening the pathways for this alignment that I was talking about. We move into immediately coming into your physical body and getting body work, so that we can open pathways that will start to translate into your hands-on healing work. That's what I love. And then we'll move into some of the beginning yoga modules with some hands-on adjustments. That's another weekend. And then we'll step it up a little bit to some asana clinics, and Arati and I will work on those programs together. And then I'll, before any of that happens, we do the human design. I articulate what your energetic body is through this system of human design. So I have that, and you have that. As we move through the training, through the 8-week training, we have a human design to bring into the process as well, because it's very revealing. The aura and the energy speaks volumes, and to have an actual physical map of what that looks like, and to understand others and have compassion for others through the human design system is incredible. So we'll use that throughout the training. We'll have some anatomy, some business, some frequency and vibration workshops. And then Arati, I would love for her to share the vast amount of knowledge that she's going to bring to the table. So she can take over now on her part.
Yes. So yeah, just this morning, Tah sent out the possible schedules, and so I had to really think what I would like to bring in, and there might be possibly more, because I really like the clinics a lot. I actually forgot almost about it, because people come in with maybe injuries or special needs. I mean, special needs sounds like, funny, but it's not, because we do have special needs, perhaps. And if we don't, it's so good for us to learn about it. So once I'm out there teaching, that I know what to do, and perhaps even get inspired to specify, become more specific, specialized, find the niche that's part of what we're doing too. What is actually calling you more. So I do Ayurveda. Ayurveda is the science of life, or the science of longevity. So that will be food, energetics, also a bit of a matrix of how to look at how the elements play out in my person and also in other people, so I can understand my own needs and what elements are more predominating, and how can I address that in my lifestyle. Lifestyle always means my private life, my family life, my health, my body, my mind, my emotions, my work, also my yoga. Sometimes for some people it's the right thing to do, like really heavy workout type of yoga, twice a day. And for some people it's more, maybe like 3 times a week, relaxing. Those are the extremes, and there's a lot in between, so that we understand also what people's need how to cater to people's needs. So Ayurveda, I love that. So I love talking about that. And people are mostly interested in finding out about their own constitution, and then also it really puts a lens on you. You can start to see how others' needs may be affected. So that, and then pre and postnatal yoga, I worked decades around that. I used to work for a hospital. Also, I did the program there for women's education. So that's what happens if you're pregnant. The yoga is a little modified, so I bring that in. Also postnatal, and I created lots of partner yoga around the needs of pregnant couples, but also besides that for just fun and nothing to do with pregnancy. Partner yoga is not acro yoga. It's a little different, and it's it can be actually used to take off into acro yoga. There could be like a portal into doing more in that area if that's really feeling so good. It's like so much fun. That's something I love doing or sharing about. And also find it very appropriate for this type of training because it's got the hands-on and the adjustments. And that's another part I love about the part I do with the pre and postnatal and the partner stuff is you are really hands-on. You're not only hands-on, you're all over the body on, and Tah already does that so wonderfully with the Thai massage. But then it would be what would be appropriate in a class, you know, how we go around and adjust perhaps, you know, once we inquired if that was okay to do. That one part is about bhakti yoga, which is the yoga of devotion, the yoga of surrender, and it's about mantra chanting. And then into that module can also include chakra, mudra, yantra, which is like a visual form of a mantra. I'm saying those words, I don't even know. Do you know what a mantra is, Cassandra? Most people.
I do, but yeah, you might want to just reiterate it in case anybody doesn't.
So most people think because it's wildly used. It's like, oh, my mantra is like, I look in the mirror and I tell myself I look really good. So that's one how it's been used. You know, my mantra is like, I want to make a lot of money. You know, like it actually been
it's just an affirmation.
Yeah, it's an affirmation. So, but what it really is, it is something you know why they use it is because you repeat it. But a mantra is like it's a sacred sound to raise the vibration. Here we go again, and to fix the mind and to tone yourself. You know, to tune.
It always comes back to the sound and vibration and healing that way. Yep, frequency and sound. And so this is the ancient tradition and the philosophy behind it, which is always important to know where it originated, where the origin, and then the story on that origin, and then we can translate it into something more modern and expansive. And that's sort of what we do.
Like Om circles, for example. What is an Om? What does it really mean? You know, what is the symbol? You know, there's so much meaning in it. So I like to take that apart a little bit and unpack that.
Yeah.
And, you know, bring mantra in, and also, you know, learn how to chant, because that's how we tune into ourselves with my own voice is powerful to my own self and can also be powerful to others. And then not using like what I think and what I want to say. And it's not so much that, it's like you're using something very pure because very ancient and it's passed down to purify and strip us from all the fusion, because right now everything has been diluted. And so, you know, there's good things we keep bringing in, which are going right back to the source where all this knowledge comes from.
Yep. Wow, that was beautiful.
You're never tired talking about all this.
I know, we never do. We could chat for hours, but we want to keep this short because I am putting this on our channels and our social media. So any last thoughts, Cassandra, before we close up?
I couldn't remember any more of my questions, but I do have a couple words that I want to say just as a thank you to you guys, because, you know, again, going back to like when I first thought about, you know, turning my yoga hobby into a possible profession or as a possible way to like, just like grow and expand myself, I had no idea that it could be so inclusive of everybody else as well. Like you guys are making it so much about, you know, just being able to tailor it to the client and being able to really serve and give back to our community and like become part of a collective again. And that is like, to me, invaluable. Like that is a really big piece of the puzzle that I felt like it isn't talked about very often, and you guys are making it like the center of this whole program, which I think is beautiful. And I just want to say thank you guys for doing that.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Thank you. That's great feedback.
Excellent. It's really what this is all about. It's just that in a nutshell, bringing it all into a personal expansion, not only for our individual selves, right? Because that's where it starts, that inner expansion, inner awareness, but that translates to all of us, you know. Yeah, so that's what it's about. Yeah, so thank you.
Sure.
Any last words, Arati?
So are you down under? Are you tomorrow? Actually, you are tomorrow, right? You are. We are
Yes.
in your yesterday.
Yes.
You're in the future, and we are in your past. Isn't that
Exactly.
cool?
Yeah.
Actually, you know, because I am continuing to, you know, I'm taking international classes with people from really all over the world. And of course, it started in the pandemic for me. And I actually don't finish. I don't want to ever give that up to be with people who are in other continents and other time zones, etc. Tah, what do you think if we open up our training for some of it can just go and be offered virtually?
Yeah. Oh,
Obviously not the Thai massage, but some of it, I think if it's filmed, it might also be available.
yes. Yes.
Okay.
If we have students who are online and want to join in this training, please contact us and we'll work something out for them.
That
Yes.
would be beautiful.
Yeah.
That's another good point that you guys are like just so flexible with that, because especially now, like you're incorporating all the technology that we have, like how we'll be doing 2 weeks online while I'm in my scuba diving program. So that's like perfect for me. Like, you know, it's very, yeah, it's flexible, I guess.
Yeah, very flexible, and
Yeah.
And this knowledge does translate this way as well, for sure. So that was great. I'm glad you brought that up. So anybody who's interested in the online portion, just contact us, and I will you know, work it out. We'll figure it out. I think all the modules can be recorded, and that is, you know, part of what I want to do as well, not only for the online students, but to have the resources. I think it is incredibly valuable to learn by video. People retain at different times. Next time you watch that, you're going to retain a different aspect of it. It's just repetition, repetition, and to record the training as we go is very important. And we have the technology to do it, so we will do that. Yeah. All right. Okay, you guys, that was good. I know Arati has a time limit, and everybody has an attention span as well. So
Yeah.
that's it. All right, thank you guys for being here. I so appreciate it.
It's good to see you. Stay
Yay.
safe down under, and see you when you come back.
Okay.
It's lovely to meet you, Arati.
Nice to meet you, Cassandra.
Thank you.
Okay,
And
bye, guys.
I had a question super fast.
No,
For
I'm gonna-
people,
yeah.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
go ahead. No,
yeah,
you
for
want
people who have, because I know you do your training sessions like you've done Thai massage trainings over the weekends, and for people who've taken that class or any of your other classes, like, is there a possibility for them to do like the other modules that they haven't done yet, or is it like sort of like you have to do it all the way through kind of thing?
right. So the people that have taken the Thai module already, they don't have to repeat it. If they want to, they could come and view it, but they don't necessarily have to participate as much as they did before. But I know repetition always is good, and that means that they also get a discount on the training too, because they already paid for that module. Yeah, so that's a good point. Excellent. All right. On that note, and make sure, you know, my email. So anybody's listening to this, it's just TAHGROEN@TAHGROEN.com. You can contact me there. That's good. All right. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for watching.
Yay, blessings, lots of love. Nice to meet you.